Welcome everyone to the first year residential experience move-in webinar. We are so happy to have you join us here, I'll say this afternoon, if you are on the East Coast with us. So my name is Christina, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. So I have been at NYU for 9 years now. Prior to NYU, I worked at the University of Georgia in residential life and housing services. I'm currently an associate director in residential life here at NYU, and I oversee all of the first year residence halls that are spread out across Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raven. I'm the residence hall director of Weinstein Hall. I've been with NYU for about 4 years now. Prior to coming to NYU, I worked and received my master's in student service administration from Fairleigh Dickinson University, right in New Jersey. As the RHD, I supervise 2 full-time professionals, and I oversee all community development initiatives within the residence hall.
And hello, everyone. I'm the third presenter today. My name is Alfredo Oliveira, or Fredo. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm also residence hall director here at NYU. I received my master's at St. Cloud State University in higher education administration. And I'm actually in the last week of my master's in politics from NYU. So I'll be graduating at the end of the month. And I've been at NYU for 3.5 years, almost 4 in a few months.
Wonderful. So Raven, Alfredo, and I plan to walk you through what you should expect while living on campus and share more detailed information regarding your move-in process that's coming up in just a few short weeks. So as we go through the presentation, we anticipate that we will answer a lot of questions that we know you all have. But if anything comes up, please use the Q&A box. We will do our best to respond when we have time throughout the presentation, but we will also do a live Q&A at the very end of the presentation to make sure we address any questions that you all have. So now I will pass it to Raven.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christina. On behalf of Residential Life and Housing Services, we would like to welcome you to your future home away from home. You're about to join over 11,000 undergraduate and graduate students who call NYU their home. With 21 residence halls located in the heart of New York City, NYU Housing has the perfect options for every stage of your NYU journey and your college experience. Living in housing offers you amazing opportunities that will really make your college experience one that you'll never forget and maybe not even want to leave. Our buildings provide more than just a place to sleep. They give you community of peers, networking with staff during your transition to the university. Our goal is to help you refine your long-term aspirations while creating meaningful memories and lifelong friends in our communities.
So we believe that your first year of college is very important. During this time, you'll be adjusting to university life, living away from home, or sharing a room, all for the first time. To help with this, we have 10 residence halls dedicated to first year students. These halls are part of the FYRE, which stands for the First Year Residential Experience. FYRE halls offer programmatic means and geographic location, which provide you with necessary resources during a critical time in college. FYRE provides opportunities to attend programs and activities designed to help you transition smoothly into your first year of college. Each hall has passionate live-in faculty, professional staff, and student leaders equipped with knowledge and skills to help you make the most of your first year at NYU. The experiences provided in your residence hall will help you to connect with new friends, NYU, and New York City. Each hall has a strong hall government for students, so it's easy to get involved and become a part of one of NYU's best traditions while gaining experience as a student leader on campus.
Thank you, Christina. And there are a number of partners involved in making sure that your first year experience goes smoothly. Each residence hall hosts a building leadership team consisting of the residence hall director, somebody like me and Raven, excuse me, a residence hall assistant director, also a master's level professional, and a residence hall resource manager. The residence hall director directs all aspects of the programs and services for the assigned residence hall. The Residence Hall Assistant Director manages the Residence Hall's day-to-day community development initiatives and events in an effort to create residential living and learning communities. They also supervise the resident assistants, or known as RAs, and advise Hall Council or student government. The Residence Hall Resource Manager oversees operations at our Resource Center, your hall's front desk, and work with facilities to address building maintenance needs. You can find your building leadership team's contact information on your hall's NYU webpage. Then we also have our faculty fellow in residence. They work closely with one another and with Residence Hall staff to set an educational tone in the Residence Hall and to design and implement a wide range of opportunities for residents to interact with faculty members and with one another. These faculty members actually live in the residence halls with their families. They have kids, partners, and will host a variety of events around the hall. In addition to professional staff and faculty, we are lucky to have a superb team of paraprofessionals called resident assistants. The RAs are full-time upper year students who have gone through a competitive selection process and intensive training. They have many responsibilities, but mainly they help you build an engaging community and enforce university policy. Residence halls typically have one RA per floor, and you should be receiving an email from your RA prior to your moving date. So please keep watching your NYU email. You will also see your RA on your floor or around the hall on moving day. Be sure to say hello and introduce yourself. In addition to RAs, we have a team of professionals called the Instant Response Team to manage after-hours crisis situations. They work with our RAs to identify students with concerns and connect students to available resources. Within our residence halls, not only we have qualified professional staff and student leaders available to address concerns and ensure a safe environment, but we partner with the Office of Campus Safety to provide 24/7 security. The Department of Campus Safety and Residential Life work closely to provide special events on safety for our students. You can contact the Campus Safety Desk in your hall's lobby for specific safety concerns you may have. They can connect you with your RA on call or an instant response team member for after-hours concerns. Get to know your campus safety officers, and because you'll see them often, and they're a great resource. Lastly, but not least, each residence hall hosts a dedicated team of facilities and housekeeping staff. This team is committed to keeping our entire building safe and maintained. While our housekeeping team cleans our common spaces, it is the students' responsibility and their roommates and suite mates to clean their rooms and suites.
Your room. You may be wondering what your new home will look like. Amenities provided for each resident include a twin extra long bed, a desk chair, a dresser, and designated closet space. Rooms also have trash and recycling bins available for our students. Our university is pleased to share floor plans for each of our residence halls as well. Please note that these plans are not drawn to scale, and any perceived amenities or room configurations are always subject to change. Our floor plans are intended to provide a general understanding or idea of location and basic layout of the overall building. In addition to these photos and floor plans, you can also check out our virtual tours and 360 room views available on our departmental website.
And to add one thing from Raven's comment here, I know a lot of people have been asking about the Paulson Center floor plans. At this time, we do not have floor plans for Paulson. So please check Paulson's at NYU Rest College Instagram for some photos of the rooms available. Room assignments and roommate information. A lot of you have talked to roommates, but check your housing portal for your room assignment and roommate information. First, you should visit www.nyu.edu. click on Login to NYU Home, the little purple button that we have on the screen. In the top right corner of the screen, then search for Housing Forms and click on Housing Forms Go. Then click Access Application. Click the Reapplication and Room Selection tab at the top of the page. Once you click Continue on the center of the screen, scroll down. You should see the information screen, including name and email addresses for your roommates or suite mates. These steps are also outlined in your hall's emails, so that has been submitted to the student's email. It is important to note that the residence halls will be at 100% occupancy this academic year starting in August, which leaves very little opportunity to grant any assignment changes until later in the semester. First-year students will be able to participate in the bed for bed exchange beginning in September after we have had an opportunity to verify attendance and occupancy. We also want to give roommates a chance to get to know each other before opening up the room change process. We are also not able to accommodate any move-ins earlier than your selected August 26th or 27th check-in date.
Okay. Now that you know how to find your roommates' information, you should reach out to them to figure out what they might be contributing to your room. Let them know what you plan to bring, if you plan to bring a fridge or a TV, so you're not duplicating purchases. It's never too early to also start a conversation about living habits. What are your boundaries? Do you sleep early or sleep late? Are you super organized, or are you okay with a little bit of mess? Some of these questions will be covered in our resident living agreement that you will complete in hall, but it's helpful to start those conversations now. With housing at capacity, it's really important to speak about these topics ahead of time. Other things to think about, we highly encourage you to personalize your space so you really feel at home. With that being said, we ask that you pack blue painter's tape to hang any items on your walls. Nails, screws, tacks, strong adhesive tapes will cause significant damage to our building, so we do ask that you refrain from using those.
So already receiving questions about mail-in packages. So as you can see on the screen, we have included the recommended mailing address format that you should use for all of your mail-in packages. Do not include the name of your residence hall or NYU in the address label. Remember to address any package sent to you with your legal name or preferred name that's registered with the university. Please note, if you are living in Othmer Hall or Clark, you will need to put Brooklyn, New York in your address. If you are in a Manhattan Hall, you will need to put New York, New York. Anytime your resource center receives a package in your name, we log it for our records. You will receive an email notice from your resource center when your package has been logged and is ready for you to pick up. We only accept mail and packages from federal mailing services. Please do not send perishable items such as baked goods or flowers or grocery deliveries. We are unable to accept any food deliveries on your behalf. Some students are asking questions about mailing packages to their residence hall prior to arriving for move-in. Unfortunately, we cannot accept any deliveries or packages for you until after you are checked into your residence hall. We simply do not have enough room in our mail rooms for packages to accumulate prior to move-in day.
Amazing. All right, and now we'll shift gears a little bit to talk about items that are prohibited. As you prepare your belongings for move-in and begin to pack, keep the bare necessities in mind. There are several items that you should plan to leave behind because they are violations of our fire safety policy. These include items like outside furniture, such as headboards, butterfly chairs, couches, air mattresses, or even futons. This also includes anything that's considered a hazard, such as candles, incense, halogen lamps, toaster ovens, hot plates. I know some really popular items now are air fryers, things along those lines, extension cords. Please be sure that you plan accordingly, as you will not be permitted to bring these items into the building. We also prohibit pets. Pets cannot live with you and are not permitted into the building. on move-in day. Please leave your family pets at home. If you have a medically related need for any prohibited item, including a service or emotional support animal, please reach out to the Moses Center for students with disabilities to go through their approved accommodation process. We do encourage you to decorate your room, but please be mindful of damaging the walls. Painter's tape, of course, like I mentioned before, is the best adhesive to use to minimize that damage. Command strips and other adhesives, nails, will cause structural damage. It is also important to understand that NYU does follow city, state, and federal laws. With that being said, no one under the age of 21 may bring alcohol or consume alcohol in the hall at any time. We also have strict guidelines in place related to smoking. Smoking is not allowed inside any of our halls and directly in front of the doors of our building as well. If you choose to smoke, you must smoke outside at a considerable distance of our hall's entrance. If you choose to smoke, please keep that in mind, that you're not in the hall's perimeter. This includes any use of e-cigarettes, jewels, or vape pens. There's no marijuana use or storage allowed in our hall. We understand that there is a legalization that's happening, but within our community, marijuana is not permitted at this time, even if you have a medical prescription. The same is true for other non-prescribed drugs. You can find a list of what to bring and what maybe to leave at home on our website by visiting our tinyurl.com/NYU what to bring, and pay close attention to those prohibited items that are listed there.
Great, thanks, Raven. So I know it's exciting, it's an exciting time, and there's a lot of things happening. So let's talk about a few things to consider before the big day actually arrives. So first, all NYU students must comply with New York State and NYU immunization requirements. Students who have not submitted the appropriate documentations will not be permitted to check into the university housing. So the deadline for this was actually July 15th. And you know, it's a lot of information, overwhelming. So if you're unable to get your information in on time, please contact the Student Health Services or Student Health Center as soon as possible, or you are at risk of being de-enrolled from the university. So think about all the time you put it there. So make sure you get that completed if you have not. And for more information, please visit the Student Health Center's website. And I'll pass to Christina for a little bit more information.
If you haven't already done so, please submit your NYU ID card photo online. New students who have never had an NYU ID card issued to them in any capacity, this includes if you've participated in a summer high school program or any summer resident program at NYU. You should visit photoid.nyu.edu and follow the instructions to upload a photo to be used on your NYU ID card. Please note that in order to properly access the system, you must have activated your NetID and your NYU email account. Once you've submitted your photo and it's been approved, an email will be sent to your NYU email address, and it will confirm the location where you can pick up your new NYU ID card. Students must bring a valid form of photo ID with them to the Kimmel Center in order to pick up any ID card during move-in weekend. After move-in weekend, you can pick up your ID card at the NYU Card Center during their business hours. By sending your picture ahead of time, you will avoid long lines during move-in day.
All right, so here are some tips to make your move-in day run as smoothly as possible. You should have by now selected a time to move in, your move-in slot, right, for your determination. You will not be permitted to check into your residence hall outside of your assigned move-in slot. I know we received some questions about this so far. Please do your best to adhere to the move-in slot that you've selected because it is a pretty busy day. We want to make sure that the folks who are moving in at each time slot do have adequate space in order to complete their move-in in as much of a smooth process as possible. Think about who will accompany you to assist with your moving. We encourage you to cap the number of people that you're going to be bringing as helpers or family members to accompany you. When you arrive at your hall, your check-in table is going to be the first place you'll want to visit. You'll be given an NYU wristband for your helpers that will allow them to enter the residence hall for move-in day during your time slot. Other campus buildings hosting events that day, they'll also be granted access via that wristband. So make sure you keep those wristbands on tight. The wristband will also include your move-in date and will only allow campus access for your move-in date. And so if you're moving in on August 26th, your move-in wristband will only provide you access for August 26th. When you enter any NYU building, you'll be greeted by a campus safety officer who monitors the entrances 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These officers check every person entering our buildings to ensure that they are NYU students and their guests. As a residential student, you will use your NYU ID to gain access to the residence halls by swiping through an electronic gate. For the majority of our move-in day, guest access will be relaxed to allow for the heavy flow of traffic that we will be experiencing. Don't be surprised when in the early evening of move-in day, your helper might be denied access to the residence hall. We do this to ensure the safety of every student in the building. Please be aware that all guest policies are strictly enforced throughout the academic year.
And our moving crew volunteers will also be here to assist you. This is a group of upper year students who have volunteered to help welcome you in your hall. Many of them lived in your hall just last year. Moving crew volunteers will provide you with a moving cart, help you load your items, and escort you to your room. Feel free to ask them questions about their experience living on campus, get involved, and making connections within their community. If you have trouble navigating a residence hall, we do recommend you connect with any NYU staff member or volunteers on site. The RA will also be around on moving day for any questions that you have. We are happy to point you in the right direction for any questions that you may have. You must arrive at your residence halls again, designated check-in station during your selected move-in window, please. The location can be found in your hall's emails sent prior to your arrival. So students, building leadership teams, BLTs, will be sending emails the next couple of weeks with information. So please check your NYU email for that information to make move-in process smooth. You will pick up your room keys during move-in, sign your registration card, a beautiful bright green card, and obtain any helper wristbands that you need.
Great. So we know that your family and your friends are super excited to help you move in, but also learn more about what you will experience when you move in and you are living with us at NYU. So we are hosting 2 webinars specifically for parents, family members that are interested in learning more about what it'll be like for their students to live with us. We'll be happy to answer any specific questions that parents may have. And these webinars will happen after move-in, so during orientation week. So we encourage your family members to register for either webinar. They do not need to register for both, so they can learn more about how best to support you as you transition into your new home and your college journey. And as was shared, we continue to encourage folks to stay hydrated during move-in weekend, make sure you're bringing water bottles, and know that there will be water refilling stations in every building. So speaking of staying hydrated, let's talk more about the move-in process. So first and foremost, please make sure that you arrive during your pre-selected move-in appointment window. You can find and change your appointment by visiting your NYU housing application. Every student, this includes any new students or if we have returning students, must sign up for a move-in time slot. When you arrive at your residence hall, you'll be greeted by an NYU staff member at the entrance who will confirm that you've arrived during your assigned move-in time. This staff member will hand you an NYU welcome pamphlet and direct you to the proper tables and lines for you to begin your check-in process. So we recommend bringing 2 people with you if possible, as if you drive, you cannot leave your car unattended in front of our buildings. Rather, you must unload and move your vehicle to a local parking garage immediately. With a total of 3 people, one person can watch unloaded belongings, another can move the car, and you, the student, will be able to head to the check-in table and sign for your room keys. Remember, residents should be the one to check in and pick up their key. At the check-in table, you, the student, you'll be issued wristbands to provide to your move-in helpers or family members that they must wear in order to enter the residence hall. Please pay attention to your hall's emails and signs for more detailed instructions to help you with your move-in day. For individuals who are not arriving in their own vehicle, so a car service, a taxi, you can skip the first step and head directly to the check-in table to sign for your key, and the rest of this process will be the same for everyone. So our motto is stop, drop, and go at your designated hall. So you drop and unload your belongings, go and find a parking space. After this, you will check in and wait in line for a move-in cart. Once you have your key, you can either begin taking your belongings upstairs or wait in line for an elevator. You will want to verify that you are in the correct line, as some residence halls have elevators that only take you to specific parts of the building or certain floors. We'll have moving carts, hand trucks, and dollies available to help transport your belongings. There'll be a long line for these as well, so we encourage you to bring your own dolly or cart if that's an option for you. We also want to remind folks that patience is key on move-in day, as the lines will be long and it will likely be hot. There's always a potential for rain. We want to make sure that folks remember there will be thousands of students and their families arriving to participate on move-in day as well. So to help you through the entire day, there will be a variety of professional staff, student volunteers on hand to help answer questions and provide support. We won't move you into your room, but we can direct you to the correct lines, to events near campus for free food, or to local dining and shopping for any additional purchases you need to make. So our best piece of advice is to pack light and don't forget to stop, drop, and go.
We have also created maps to highlight the routes that you'll be the most useful for you to use on moving day. So we are here to help move in and transition going smoothly, but we also want you to know that moving day is not all about work. Your hall will also host fun events during the evening and of moving days, so we can meet your neighbors and classmates. So that's a simple map of like how to arrive at, for example, at Paulson Center Residence Hall. Apps to download. So technology is everything, and number one, there are a variety of apps we recommend you download before your arrival at NYU to make your experience as smooth as possible. To get yourself ready for NYU Welcome, download the NYU mobile app to see a full list of events and schedules so that you can maximize your experience. NYU Mobile is a comprehensive app that allows you to quickly access things like Albert, dining hall information, campus maps, campus events, and many more other options. So also the first year, the Center for Student Life sent an email to our first year students. So please check that as well with information about the app and programs coming up. It is also important for you to download Safe NYU, which sends you important safety notices and instant access to campus safety resources. Finally, the Wellness Exchange app allows students to chat 24/7 with a licensed mental health professional in 6 different languages. NYU is full of resources to support you during your time with us, and these are fantastic ways to access them quickly and easily.
Awesome. So we want to say thank you. We hope that this presentation helped clarify some information for you. So before we wrap up, we are very excited for you to start your journey at NYU. Fredo, if we can transition to the next slide, we want to share an awesome opportunity with you as we say thank you. So I want to highlight the FYRE Move-In Cruise. So the FYRE Move-In Cruise will set sail on Sunday, September 3rd. We're really excited. This is an exclusive cruise, so there will be nothing but NYU first-year residential students on this boat. The entire boat is ours. And you will get up close and personal with the Statue of Liberty, the amazing New York City skyline. You'll enjoy dinner and tons of dancing all night. So if you haven't seen this already, please take a moment to scan the QR code on the screen or follow the bit.ly link that you see on the screen to go ahead and purchase your ticket before the tickets for the FYRE Cruise sell out, and they are already selling quickly. We just released the tickets yesterday, so make sure that you don't miss out and that you don't miss the boat. So this marks the official end of our presentation. And now we are going to transition to answering questions that folks have been submitting throughout the webinar. Please continue to submit your questions as we go through the Q&A. So Raven and Fredo, I will throw a few questions to you. So we've gotten quite a few questions about whether the residence halls provide cleaning supplies. Raven, can you chime in and answer that question for students?
Absolutely. So the residence halls do not provide cleaning supplies for the students. Prior to move-in, our housekeeping staff will prepare each space. However, after move-in, it is the student's responsibility to maintain their personal space and area. With that being said, we do have brooms, maybe vacuums available at the resource center that can be loaned out, but any other items might have to be purchased by the students.
Awesome, thank you. So another question that we've received, Fredo, maybe you can chime in on this one. Will the dining halls open on move-in weekend?
Yes, so the dining halls open on Saturday at 4 p.m. So Saturday, August 25th, I believe. So many days, or 26. Yeah, at 4 p.m. So, and then once those dining halls are open at 4 p.m. on Saturday, they're open for the rest of the year with some exceptions for breaks. They'll have modified hours, which the building leadership team and RAs will definitely share with the students, and is available on the website.
Wonderful. Raven, we've actually gotten this question a few times. Do we have a curfew for students at the residence halls?
We do not have a curfew for students in the residence halls. We, of course, want our students to be safe, but there is no curfew in place for our students.
Awesome, thank you. Fredo, we have a great question about maintenance services. So are maintenance services available if something breaks in a room, for example, a clogged toilet?
Yes, we do. So there are two ways for students to ask for help. One is through the work request form, which again will be QR codes and links across the halls. So students, you all will be responsible for letting facilities know and asking for help through the work order system. However, if it's something major, a leak, a bubble, a water bubble in your ceiling for some reason, we do ask you to go to the resource center from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Or if it's outside those hours, to let campus safety know, the desk at the front desk, if you notice there's something major happening, so we can address those right away. We do have facilities in the building in a rotation 24/7, but if it's emergency, please contact campus safety or the resource center.
Awesome. So we've received a few questions about students who are involved in special programs, for example, Project Outreach. So students that are part of certain groups that were approved to arrive and move in before August 26th do not need to make a move-in appointment time slot. You all were given a specific move-in day based on the program that you are involved in. You should arrive on that move-in day and go to the resource center, and there will be someone there between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. each day that can give you your keys. Again, this is only students that have that special approval. Please do not arrive prior to your assigned move-in date. So we have a question about ID cards. So if someone participated in, like, let's say summer programs, maybe they lived in Founders Hall in a previous summer, Raven, do they need to get a new NYU ID?
Typically, yes, they do need to get a new ID. And so the IDs that are issued for pre-college or summer programs are a little bit different than the IDs that are received during the academic year. They're different colors. So do make sure that when you check out of your summer program, that you return that ID and then pick up your official NYU ID, which will have you noted as a NYU college student for the fall.
Awesome. So we also have gotten questions about like parents and family and when they are allowed in the building. So parents and family members that have the wristband that we explained, they will be allowed in the building on their student's move-in day. So if your move-in appointment is August 26th, your wristband will say August 26th, and that will give you access to the building during your student's move-in process. So at the end of the day, on the 26th and for the remainder of the semester, that wristband will no longer give you access to the building. So students, if you want to bring in a parent or a guest, after your move-in period is over, you'll need to go through the university guest process, and that includes registering your guests with the university ahead of time. So if you Google the NYU visitor policy, it will include the links to the form that you would need to submit. So to be clear, if you move in on Saturday, your parent or family member cannot return to the residence hall on Sunday unless you go through the university's guest registration process and you sign them in at your front desk. Right. Okay, mail and packages. Maybe Fredo, what are some examples of those official mail carriers that we will accept mail and packages from?
USPS, UPS, DHL, FedEx, UPS Ground, all of those in Amazon packages we will accept. Anything that is delivered to NYU, sort of like a federal carrier, we will accept. Again, like just a reminder, two things: we cannot accept anything prior to you officially signing in your reg card and moving into the residence halls. And two, we cannot accept flowers, cakes, food, anything. And I know parents sometimes, if parents are here, you love surprising students during their birthdays. Unfortunately, the carrier, the delivery person, will have to call your student and say, hey, I have flowers for you in the lobby. Please come down and pick it up. We cannot accept on the student's behalf.
Awesome. Thank you, Fredo. So see several questions about guests. So how many guests are students allowed to bring with them to help them with their move-in process? Raven, can you take this one?
Absolutely. So we ask that each student brings no more than 3 helpers to assist them on move-in day. We understand that folks might have larger families, but we do ask that you limit to 3 folks helping you out on move-in day because it will be pretty busy. And we do have a large number of students that will be moving in on both Saturday and Sunday. Yes, that is all I have to say. Sorry.
No, it's great. Fredo, can you go back to slide 11 with the addresses for mail and package delivery? So the slide that Alfredo is going to show, it explains how you should list your address in order to receive mail and packages at your residence hall. So please take a moment to screenshot or use your camera to take a picture of this screen to ensure that your mail and packages are delivered properly and you don't have any issues with delivery. So when your package arrives, our staff will log that package in and we will email you to notify you that your package is ready and you can come to the resource center to pick it up. And so we want to make sure that folks understand that the email will come from us when your package is ready. Oftentimes Amazon or USPS will mark a package as delivered and you may get a tracking notification update, but you haven't received a package notification from us. That is because we either haven't logged it or maybe the mail carrier actually scanned the package before they entered the building. So we just ask that you have patience and wait for that email from us before you go down to the desk to pick up your package.
Christina, can I add one note about
Go
it's
ahead.
important?
Yes,
So
please.
everybody, it's important for you to also know, sometimes putting your residence hall name in the delivery package delays delivery. So when you put like, sometimes we've had issues where students put like Paulson Center or Goddard Hall or Rubin Hall. Sometimes in the email, and there's a hall associated with it, goes to NYU's central receiving, which delays your delivery to a couple of days. So again, please try to stick to the format we shared with you. Just your name, street address, apartment number, New York or Brooklyn, and the zip code. Avoid putting the building name because it will delay your package.
Beautiful. Raven, if you can take this one, this is actually the first time I've seen this question. So do we need to give tips to the move-in crew members? Do we tip the move-in crew?
Okay, we do not need to tip the moving crew. These are folks who have volunteered. Like Christina might have mentioned earlier, these are folks who either lived in that community that they're helping you move into, or they're just upper year students that wanted to help out and welcome our new community members. So they are there just to enjoy the day, to enjoy the atmosphere, and really help to create a positive, welcoming experience for you all and for your students, parents and students rather. So no need to tip. A friendly smile is enough, and some patience maybe as we get through the day together.
Beautiful. Thank you, Raven. So there's a question about folks that may be renting mini fridges or microwaves and how that delivery process will work. First, I strongly encourage you to check your residence hall's website and maybe reach out to the building leadership team to confirm whether or not a microwave and or mini fridge is provided. If it is not and you choose to rent it, we can't let the delivery people into the building. So we encourage you to have them call you so you can meet them in the lobby to pick up your mini fridge or microwave. Or like we said, if it's one of those official delivery services because you ordered the item online, it would be at the resource center and you would just come and pick it up once you log it. But if you have a rental company delivering items for you, we can't let them into the building. You will need to meet them in your building's lobby in order to retrieve your items from them. What else? Where can they find out more information about Welcome Week? Fredo, I know you spoke about the apps that they should download. Maybe you can remind them where they can find information about welcome programs.
Yeah, so all the welcome programs will be available on the app. So I'm going to go back a couple of slides here to just show people the app. It's the NYU mobile. So that NYU mobile, parents, if you're listening here, will be a section for parents there, and then students, we have a section only for students. So parents, we also encourage you to download if you want to, but students, there'll be dozens of programs the first week. That is the best way for you to meet people, make friends. And I know maybe you may think that other people have friends here or know people and you don't go like that. Go alone. All these programs are intended for you to connect with people and make friends, and that's going to be transformative and really intentional. So please check those out, but that's on the app where the programs will be available for students, and there'll be an option for parents to select a parent section so you can see what's available for parents as well.
Awesome. I'll send this one to Raven. So this is a two-part question. So one, will the dorm rooms be cleaned prior to students' arrival? And then two, once the student checks in, they have their keys. From that point forward, who is responsible for cleaning?
Sure thing. So all of our residence halls actually right now, they're in the process of being cleaned and will be cleaned over the next 2 weeks. So we're preparing for the arrival of all of our students. After students have checked into the hall, they received their keys, their moving their items in. After that point, it becomes the student's responsibilities, whether that's corresponding with roommates or suite mates, to maintain the space and clean the space. This includes any dishes, any spills that might happen in the space. On behalf of the students, that would be the student's responsibility to maintain and to clean.
Awesome. Thank you, Raven. Let's see. Just scanning through. Go ahead, Fredo.
I think Christina mentioned a little bit for all of you, but it's important to know, like, the wristband really quick. It's like, I think Raven emphasizes only for the day of. So parents, if you're here, let's say you help your student move in on Saturday, or students, if you want a friend or somebody helping in on Saturday and you want them to come back on Sunday, you will need to sponsor them and follow the guest protocol for that Sunday day. So Christina, that's right. Like, they would be able to sponsor the person the next day, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so just know that the wristband is only for the day of move-in, for the 2-hour window, and it ends at 7 p.m.
Awesome. Raven, this is a great question. So during like holidays and university closures, are the students allowed to leave their belongings in their room? For example, Thanksgiving or even the winter break, are students allowed to leave their belongings?
Yeah. One of the beautiful things about NYU housing in our residence halls is that our halls don't close. So all throughout our year, once we start for fall, whether it is Thanksgiving break, a winter break, spring break, your room is your room. You have your keys, your items will remain safely kept in your room. So you can store your items there and head home for vacation and come back, and your items will be left in the same condition as you left them.
Perfect. Thank you, Raven. So we're getting a lot of questions about items that are prohibited or allowed. A lot of questions about like outside furniture. So if you visit our website with suggestions on what to bring and what not to bring, you'll see a lot more detailed information about what is allowed and what is not allowed. So I will add that link to the chat for everyone. So you can visit this. When it comes to furniture items, I believe it specifies that whatever the item is, its total dimensions should not exceed 80 inches, especially when folks are looking at mini fridges to rent or to purchase. Please be mindful of that. We do not allow prohibited items that are listed on this website or in the residential policy handbook. We will not allow prohibited items in the residence hall. Raven, can you briefly describe the guest process? So outside of move-in, right? If I wanted to bring a parent to visit me, let's say on Monday, August 28th, briefly, what's the process that I would go through?
Absolutely. So we have our guest policy, which is pretty flexible and open now to our students and their guests who want to access our hall and our community. Students must sponsor their guests, which is going to be done via an online system. It is almost instantaneous. And so students should complete that sponsorship. After completing that sponsorship and receiving approval, they will report to the desk of the hall they're trying to gain entry into. They will present their guest as well as their guest's ID to the campus safety officer, who will document their guests, have them sign into the building, and then they have access for the day, along with their host, who will be the student.
Awesome. So Fredo, maybe you can take this next question. There's a student asking about campus mental health resources. So how might a student get in contact with a counselor if they need some additional support?
Great question and very important question. So we do have, like I mentioned a little bit early, that we have mental health counselors available for students 24/7. It's called the Wellness Exchange. You can access them through the app, through the Safe app. Let me go back here again. Sorry, apps are very important, but like the Wellness Exchange app. But here's the thing: When you get your student ID, the back of your student ID has very important numbers, including campus safety, emergency numbers, and the wellness exchange. You will call them at 212-443-9999, and they'll be available to assist you. And the most important things, like we have these resources for you because we want you to ask for help when you need help. Your safety and mental health is very important to us, and NYU has invested money and resources and time into having the resource for you. So please know that the back of your ID or the app will be available for you to contact with a mental health person.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Fredo. So there are a few questions. We only have about a minute left, so I want to. So we're still getting a lot of questions about guests. I think this is a good one. One, two-parter. So Raven, I keep throwing the two-parters at you, Raven. Thank you. So one, are overnight guests allowed? And then two, do residents need their suite mates or roommates' permission to have an overnight guest?
Thank you. I like a two-part question. And so we do have an overnight guest process here in our community. And so as a courtesy to your roommate, to your suite mates, it is a good idea to have that conversation with them, make sure they're comfortable with the guests that you're going to be bringing in overnight. We do have our overnight guest passes, which will require your roommate and suite mate signature. That will be submitted to our resource center for approval, and that will allow your guests to sleep over in our residence hall.
Perfect. Thank you, Raven. And I have added a link to the chat with more information about the guest registration process. I am also going to add another link so that folks know where they can find the recording of this webinar. I ask that you give us about 48 hours to post it and update this website, but this is where you can find the webinar recording once it is ready. So aside from that, we are coming up on 5 p.m. So we want to thank you all again so much for joining us. If you have any questions that we were unable to answer, we ask that you connect with the professional staff members from your residence hall. You can find their information on your residence hall's website. Raven or Fredo, anything before we wrap up?
No, welcome to NYU. We're excited to welcome you on campus. So go Violets.
Just to echo Fredo, welcome to NYU. If you have any additional questions, reach out to us or reach out to your building leadership team. They would love to help, and we can't wait to have you join us.
Thank you. We'll see you all in a few weeks.